The account of the 10 plagues can be found in the book of Exodus in the Bible. It describes a series of catastrophic events that God sent upon Egypt as a means to secure the release of the Israelites from their enslavement. Here is a full commentary on the biblical narrative of the 10 plagues. Context: the 10 plagues occurred during the time when Moses, appointed by God, confronts Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, and demands the liberation of the Israelites. Pharaoh initially refuses to let them go, prompting God to unleash a series of plagues as demonstrations of his power and judgment. Purpose and theological significance. The 10 plagues serve multiple purposes. Firstly, they manifest God's power over creation, demonstrating that he is the one true God and that the Egyptian gods, believed to have control over different aspects of nature, are powerless before him. Secondly, the plagues serve as acts of judgment against the oppressive regime of Egypt and as a means to secure the freedom of the Israelites. Lastly, the plagues reveal God's faithfulness to his covenant promises and his care for his chosen people. The plagues. A. Water turned to blood. God commands Moses to strike the Nile River with his staff, turning the water into blood. The Egyptians' water supply is contaminated, and the fish die, causing great distress. B. Frogs. Swarms of frogs cover the land, invading every corner of Egypt. This plague intensifies as the frogs infest homes, beds, and food sources. C. Gnats or lice. Dust is transformed into swarms of gnats or lice, covering both humans and animals. The plague is a source of discomfort and annoyance. D. Flies. The land is overrun by swarms of flies, bringing further devastation to Egypt. This plague specifically targets the livelihood and resources of the Egyptians. E. Livestock disease. A severe disease affects the livestock of the Egyptians, resulting in the death of their cattle, horses, donkeys, sheep, and camels. F. Boils. Painful and severe boils break out on the skin of both humans and animals throughout Egypt. G. Hail and fire. A violent storm of hail and fire rains down upon Egypt, destroying crops, trees, and people caught in the open. H. Locusts. Swarms of locusts cover the land, devouring any remaining vegetation after the hailstorm. I. Darkness. A thick darkness envelops Egypt for 3 days, so dense that it can be felt. The darkness is a manifestation of God's judgment and a contrast to the light that the Israelites experience. J. Death of the firstborn. The most devastating plague. God strikes down the firstborn in every Egyptian household, both human and animal. However, the Israelites are spared by observing the Passover and applying the blood of a lamb to their doorposts. Pharaoh's response. After each plague, Pharaoh initially shows reluctance to release the Israelites. His heart is hardened, and he often changes his mind, causing further plagues to be unleashed upon Egypt. Redemption and freedom. The 10 plagues culminate in the liberation of the Israelites. Pharaoh finally relents, and the Israelites are allowed to leave Egypt, marking the beginning of their journey towards the Promised Land. The account of the 10 plagues demonstrates God's sovereignty, justice, and power. It reveals his ability to intervene in history and bring about deliverance for his people. The plagues serve as a reminder of the consequences of oppression and resistance against God's will. Additionally, the 10 plagues signify the importance of obedience, faith, and trust in God's promises, as exemplified by the Israelites' observance of the